Tapyante lokatapena. Can you propose me? Sadhava prayasho janaha. Paramaradhanam tadhi. Purushasya khilatmanaha. Okay, word for word. Tapyante, voluntarily suffer. Lokatapena, because of the suffering of people in general. Sadhavaham, saintly persons. Prayashaham, almost always. Janaham, such persons. Parama aradhanam, the topmost method of worshiping. Tat, that activity. Ahim, indeed. Purushasya, of the Supreme Person. Akhilam, Atmanaham, who is the super soul of everyone. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. It is said that the great personalities almost always accept voluntary suffering because of the suffering of people in general. It is considered the highest method of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is present in everyone's heart. Purport. Here is an explanation of how those engaged in the activities of the welfare of others are very quickly recognized by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, Ya idamam paramam guhyam mad bhakteshu vidasyati ancha tasman manusheshu kashyan me priyakritamaha. One who preaches the message of Bhagavad Gita to my devotees is the most dear to me. No one can excel him in satisfying me by worship. There are 9 different kinds of welfare activities in the material world. But the supreme welfare activity is the spreading of Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, other welfare activities cannot be effective, for the laws of nature and the results of karma cannot be checked. It is by destiny or the laws of karma that one must suffer or enjoy. For instance, if one is given a court order, he must accept it, whether it brings suffering or profit. Similarly, everyone is under the obligations to karma and its reactions. No one can change this. Therefore, the Shastra says, Tasyaiva heto prayate tako vido nalabhyate ya brahmatam uparyadaha. One should endeavor for that which is never obtained by wandering up and down the universe as a result of the reactions of karma. What is that? One should endeavor to become Krishna conscious. If one tries to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world, he should be understood to be performing the best welfare activity. The Lord is automatically very pleased with him. If the Lord is pleased with him, what is left for him to achieve? If one has been recognized by the Lord, even if he does not ask for anything, the Lord who is within everyone supplies him whatever he wants. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, Tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Again, as stated here, tapyante lokatapena sadhava prayasho janaha. The best welfare activity is raising people to the platform of Krishna consciousness. Since the conditioned souls are suffering only for want of Krishna consciousness, the Lord also comes to mitigate the sufferings of humanity. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanar bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam sajamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkrutam dharma samsa pranataya sambhavami yuge yuge. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to establish the principles of religion. I advent myself millennium after millennium. All the Shastras therefore conclude that spreading the Krishna conscious movement is the best welfare activity in the world. Prabhupada has mentioned this 3 times in this purport. Because of the ultimate benefit this bestows upon people in general, the Lord very quickly recognizes such service performed by a devotee. Om Agyana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmlitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tafpadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamsya. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swaminati Namine Harijana Ganabadi Gnana Karmandahari Prakatita Parabhaktir Bhakti Siddhanta Kantihi Vinaya Nikara Lakshmi Nimna Medera Gamyo Bhuvijayati Vikaso Bhakti Purvo Yatindraha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminati Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyati Deshtarine Bhagishaya Shivadane Lakshmi Yasa Chivakshisi Yasyasya Hridaya Samvitam Nrsimhamaham Bhaje. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Tapyanti Lokatapina Sadhava Prayasojanaha Paramaradhanam Tadi Purushasya. It is said that general personalities, great personalities, almost always accept voluntary suffering of the people in general. This is considered the highest method of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is present in everyone's heart. So, Srila Prabhupada this is really a purport that is a very monumental purport of Srila Prabhupada, because he says this supreme welfare activity is the spreading Krishna consciousness. He said it three times that I can count. Maybe he said one more time actually. And he again, 3 times in this purport, Prabhupada says that the way a person is recognized by the Supreme Personality of Godhead is when they go and spread this Krishna consciousness movement. So we can see and understand from this purport and this verse that Srila Prabhupada is a person who is extremely recognized by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right in 1977, after Srila Prabhupada had disappeared, His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj was performing kirtan with was participating in a kirtan with Akinchana Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, who is Srila Prabhupada's dear friend and god brother. And they were chanting and chanting and chanting. And while they were doing so, Akinchana Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj was leading the kirtan. And Giriraj Maharaj recalls that this was, not Giriraj Maharaj, Bhakti Bringa Goswami Maharaj. Bhakti Bringa Govinda Maharaj recalls that this kirtan was very ecstatic. And while this kirtan was going on, he was feeling this, he could feel the bhava of Srila Prabhupada's god brother for Srila Prabhupada. Because Prabhupada, so many times, we could see that this god brother of Srila Prabhupada had no envy but only awe and reverence towards Srila Prabhupada. And he loved Srila Prabhupada so dearly. So he was performing, he was participating in this kirtan. And while the kirtan is going on, he could feel the bhava of separation of this great devotee to Srila Prabhupada. And then, at the end of the kirtan, this devotee told Bhakti Bringa Govinda Maharaj that never has there ever been a time in the world, nor will there ever be a time where, never has there ever been a time in the world where someone has displayed so much faith in the holy name as your Guru Maharaj. Because he has done something which no acharyas have done before. So we can see and understand actually that this is a completely true statement. That Srila Prabhupada performed an activity which no incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead even performed. All the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they left the credit to Srila Prabhupada. Just like how Rama gave the credit to Hanuman to jump over the ocean and go and relay his message to Sita and perform all these wonderful feats. Similarly, Lord Krishna and his beloved consort Srimati Radharani left the credit. Lord Chaitanya left the credit to Srila Prabhupada for going and delivering the entire Western world. Entire world, actually. This is a very important thing. And we can't underestimate it. We can't put this down or say, oh, this is just something else. No, Prabhupada has done a very monumental activity by doing what he did actually. So we see that when a personality does a great service like this, it is inconceivable as to how great and amazing these personalities are, especially Srila Prabhupada. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur disappeared, some of his disciples said that such a great acharya like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur may appear, of such a great acharya of this caliber, may appear once or maybe twice in the day of Lord Brahma, once or twice. So we see that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur appeared, and right after that appeared Srila Prabhupada. So, and by performing this humongous activity that Srila Prabhupada performed, one can understand that this is no ordinary personality. I was just listening recently to the most recent Prabhupada memory that was released, and it was Prithu Prabhu. And he was in the room in Vrindavan in 1977 when Srila Prabhupada was manifesting the pastime of disappearing from this world. He was manifesting the pastime of disappearing from this world. And then Prithu Prabhu was saying that they were all leading a kirtan to watch as Srila Prabhupada is disappearing. And Prithu Prabhu said that not just him, but most of the devotees in that room, they felt that they were part of a bigger kirtan. They felt that they were part of a bigger kirtan of all the associates of Lord Chaitanya performing a kirtan to welcome Srila Prabhupada to his next destination. So, by performance of such humongous, amazing, transcendental activities, Srila Prabhupada has shown his entire life is an example of saving the conditioned souls. There's no one in the recorded history who has displayed as much compassion for the fallen conditioned souls as Srila Prabhupada did, and this is an irrevocable fact, actually, if you were to examine and see what Srila Prabhupada is saying this. Because he performed the greatest austerities that we cannot even imagine. Austerities that we cannot even imagine. Who can understand? I was thinking that, the demons, they also have great determination. I was chanting my Gayatri this morning in front of the Samadhi of His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. And while I was chanting my Gayatri, it seems like when you chant your Gayatri, it's the time where all the mosquitoes and ants around you decided it's time to attack now. And all the ants and the mosquitoes were biting me constantly. I was chanting my Gayatri and I was trying to shoo away the mosquitoes and the ants while I'm chanting. I was thinking, Hiranyakashipu must have had so much determination that his entire body was eaten up in a mountain of ants and he still did not flinch. And I was thinking, oh wow, his determination must have been so amazing. But then what to speak of the determination of Srila Prabhupada? So much more amazing than that. Why? Because Srila Prabhupada's determination was not selfishly motivated. He was selflessly serving Krishna. So when a person performs these kinds of austerities and he performs these kinds of activities, we can understand and see that this person is way on a whole other level of Krishna consciousness. And Srila Prabhupada is so kind that not only did he set the example for us, but he also gave us a process by which we can also selflessly give our life to Krishna. It's the most important thing to do, actually. We should selflessly give our life to Krishna. And we need to give our spiritual, we need to give it with anyabhilashita shunyam. You do not need to have any other mixed desires in order for, if you just give Krishna a pure offering, and Krishna is very kind. Srila Prabhupada says, even if this devotee doesn't want anything, Krishna still fulfills all his desires. So this is very important. We can see Srila Prabhupada has performed so many amazing, wonderful activities. There's so many different kinds of welfare activities, mundane welfare activities, which go on in this material world. And some of them may even seem so religious. That's why Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he quoted, he would say, Pritivite yaha khichu dharma nama chale bhagavata prahitahan paripurna chale. Anyone speak Bengali? You speak, okay. Kemonasan Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Well, you see, he says, Pritivite yaha khichu dharma nama chale. He says, whatever goes on in the name of dharma in this material world, the Bhagavat says is paripurna chale. What does that mean? Paripurna chale means wholesale cheating. Whatever goes on in the name of dharma in this world is actually wholesale cheating. And again, sometimes we can see, I was just shooting books in San Diego, and we were just shooting books in I don't even remember, Miramar Cash and Carry or something like this. And it was a grocery store complex, right? And there was an Indian grocery store. There was all these things, and there was a small temple also. And it was like there was all this bogus temple, that other temple, this grocery store, restaurant, all these things. It was a huge complex. And then there was a pujari in one of these temples. And then I've been just reading books the whole day, and I realized that this person is doing more car puja than he's doing the puja to Balaji in the temple. More Tesla puja. More pujas to Tesla than to Balaji. So I was thinking, is this what? And so many people coming, yes, please bless my car, and you do a car puja. And you're doing more car puja than you're doing worship to the deities. So if you're doing more car puja, what will you think of at the time of death? Cars. And then where do you go? Where do you go from here? So therefore, Srila Prabhupada wanted an entire movement of Madhyama Adhikaris. Prabhupada wanted a movement where people knew what it means to surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Unfortunately, if we were to see the majority of the population, the Krishna consciousness movement right now, not very few, very, very small percentage of that population of the devotees within the Krishna consciousness movement have an idea of what it means to be a full-time devotee. A very small percentage, or very small percentage of the people who are part of the Krishna consciousness movement know what Mangalarti even is. An even smaller percentage have ever attended Mangalarti, and an even small percentage of them have ever undergone the austerities and training that Srila Prabhupada instilled in his disciples while he was on the planet. So this is very important. It's very important to understand that the training that Srila Prabhupada has set is of topmost importance. And we can say that the Prabhupada disciples, who we still say, they're so fixed up and they're so on point with so many things, at least as far as their sadhana is concerned, as far as all these things are concerned, so many of them are still like that because of the training that they received in their younger years. Because of that training, they've been able to go on and endure all kinds of austerities. But if we don't endure, if you're not trained in this, and we think that, Krishna consciousness is not, okay, so I wanted to ask, so we've all joined the Krishna consciousness movement. How many of us think that Krishna consciousness is our religion? We can raise our hands. Religion. Anyone else think Krishna consciousness is religion? Yes? Anyone? No? That's right. The Prabhupada didn't come to start the Krishna consciousness religion. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur didn't come to teach the Gaudiya Vaishnava religion. He started the Gaudiya mission. Mission means missionaries. That's what the movement is actually meant for. This movement is meant to create missionaries, revolutionaries, who are ready to come and take over the world with Krishna consciousness. That is what Srila Prabhupada actually made. That is how people who just met the Swami, and then, one month later, after they just got into Krishna consciousness, they're going to another part of the world and opening up a whole new center of Krishna consciousness. How is this possible? Where is this coming from? This is coming from having a lot of faith, unflinching faith in the order of the spiritual master, and getting that training. Devotees were willing to do anything Srila Prabhupada said. And because of their unflinching, unmeasurable Guru Bhakti, they were able to take the entire world with a storm. There's so many articles in the newsletters that came out that this Krishna consciousness movement is a very dangerous movement. If you let it spread, very soon our entire material civilization will crash. It's true, actually. There's the power of our books. There's the power of Srila Prabhupada's books. The power of Srila Prabhupada's purpose is such that if we simply go on to simply distribute these books and people read these books, things will completely change. Things will completely change. Inconceivable auspicity will be experienced by people of this material world. So we see that when people are trained properly in Krishna consciousness, then even if they were trained properly and then they go into some other direction for whatever reason, either dharmically or adharmically go into another situation, But then they bounce back. And when they bounce back, they're serious about going back to Krishna consciousness. And so going back home, back to Godhead. And if they're not serious about it, well, what's the loss? Tasyaiva hetu prayateta ko vido. There is no loss in this process of Krishna consciousness. But we have to understand that what Prabhupada has taught us is pure Krishna consciousness. Akama sarvakamova mokshakama udaradihi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. If you have no material desires, very good, Akama, congratulations to you. Sarvakama, if you have all material desires, like me. Or if you're mokshakama, if you're a mokshakami, if you are just after liberation. Mokshakama udharati, whatever you want, what is the solution? Tivrena bhakti yogena, you need to perform intense devotional service. Intense devotional service doesn't mean that you're losing your mind at every minute of time, but your practice of Krishna consciousness must be strict, serious, and sincere. You must practice Krishna consciousness seriously. And what does it mean to be a serious practitioner of Krishna consciousness? Prabhupada said, there is no question of spiritual life if you don't rise before 4 a.m. Prabhupada said that. There's no question of spiritual life if you don't rise before 4 a.m. So we must learn to rise before 4 a.m. We must train our body, we must train our mind. Prabhuji, I have a job. Prabhuji, I have this. Prabhuji, I have that. Very good. You may have all these things. But the goal of life isn't to pay bills. The goal of life isn't to send the kids to the best school or in the best world or to see how quickly the Tesla car charges. No. The goal of life is to go back home, back to Godhead. And that is why you have this human form of life. We are so fortunate that somehow or the other, after millions and billions of universe travels that we're doing, we're wandering over billions and millions of universes. Brahmanda Brahmate Kona, Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasad Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. We are Bhagyavan Jivas, we're extremely fortunate living entities. We have come in touch with the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. My God, who can imagine? Who can imagine of a good fortune? We can't imagine of a good fortune. No, we can't even conceive of a good fortune. Somehow or the other, we've come in touch with the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. So when we've come in touch with the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, we must sincerely read Srila Prabhupada's books. And if they disturb our mind, if Srila Prabhupada's purpose disturbs our mind, very good. Very good. If these purposes are disturbing your mind, that is a sign that you're making advancement. Because if these purposes are making you feel uncomfortable, that means your so-called conditionings and attachments are being challenged. They're being challenged. And that is why Srila Prabhupada is a perfect definition of who a sadhu is. Who is a sadhu? Who is a sadhu? That's right. That's absolutely right. Yeah. You can pull up this verse. How does it start? Oh, Tato Dutsanga Mutsrijya Satsu Sajeta Buddhiman. I'm trying to remember the verse number. Let me see. Tato. I think it's 11:23:23, but yeah, pull that up. Okay, I'm not going to be able to remember it off the top of my head, but I'll just say the verse. Tato dussanga mutsrijya satsu sajjeta buddhiman santa eva sichindanti manovyasangam uktibihi. So who is a sadhu? Who's an intelligent person? Firstly, let's examine who's an intelligent person. Is an intelligent person a person who builds electric cars or flying cars or whatever else they're coming up with? Is an intelligent person a person who's very expert at making a lot of money? No. Who's an intelligent person? Tato dutsangam utsrijya. A person who's intelligent is a person who gives up bad association. Tato dutsangam utsrijya. Satsu sajjeta buddhiman. A person who gives up bad association is very intelligent. But it's not just enough to give up bad association. What else is bad association? What else does an intelligent person do? He, Tatsu Sajjeta, Santa eva sichindanti. He goes up to a Santa. He goes up to a saint. He goes up to a saint. He goes up to a sadhu. And what does the sadhu do? Santa eva sichindanti. He slices it to bits, your material attachments. The excessive attachments of the mind. Mano vyasangam uktibihi. Whatever excessive attachments the mind has, the sadhu chops to bits. So now we can go and we can hear many nice classes. So many nice stories about Krishna, so many nice things, and these stories are very nice and it's very amazing. But after hearing these stories and pastimes and all this, and thinking ourselves to be a gopi manjari cowherd boy, no one thinks they're a cowherd boy. Everyone has to be a manjari, right? That's the whole point, right? No, that's nonsense. But oh yeah, we may think, oh, we are so elevated. Oh, Prabhuji is so nice. It's so amazing, huh? This and that. And then, we are sitting in class and they're telling the pastimes of Radha and Krishna and we're crying and we're feeling so much bhav. But then we go home, we turn on the TV and we watch another movie and the actress and actress are also doing some drama and we're crying looking at this. So this is called nonsense actually. This is called prakriti rasa. This is called mundane mellows. So one must understand that there is no question of love without surrender. This is the point. If you want to be recognized with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, first you surrender, then there'll be love. There is no question of love without surrender. Where is there an example in the material world? Where is there an example? Husband comes home from a long day of work, and he tells the wife sees him, wow, honey, I'm so happy you're back. I love you. Thank you very much, but I am very hungry. Okay, that's great. But I love you. Okay, thank you for loving me, but I'm hungry. Can you do something about it? No. Can you cook something? No. But I still love you. Is there any meaning to this love? No. There is no meaning to this love. Why? Because love comes from surrender. Actually, this whole idea of loving is a nonsensical idea coming from the modern way of thinking. In Vedic culture, I never heard my mom or my dad telling each other, I love you, or calling each other honey or sugar or maple syrup or whatever they call people, whatever other sweet things to them. Never heard my grandparents say, I love you or anything like that. I never even seen my grandparents touch each other in public. Not even holding hand, nothing, none of this. But here, we have to tell love and we have to do all this. But that love was expressed in the form of duty and service. That's the point. Love is expressed in the form of service. We can cry in front of the deities, but if we don't do what Krishna wants us to do, what is the use of your crocodile tears? You are simply fooling yourself. That's why Prabhupada, in Nectar of Instruction, verse number 3, he says, Utsaha nishaya dhairya tatat karma pravartanat. How do I not know? I got it. Utsaha nishaya dhairya tatat karma pravartanat sangatyaga sato vrite shadbir bhaktir prasidhyati. Right? Now, Prabhupada opens up this purport with a bang, okay? And let's look at this purport. Devotional service is not a matter of sentimental speculation or imaginative ecstasy. Its substance is practical service. Did I quote that right? A practical activity. Oh, shoot. Almost. Okay, so its substance is practical activity. So this is very important to understand. Srila Prabhupada is telling us over here that devotional service is not a matter of sentimental speculation. Oh, I will worship Krishna my own way. I will worship. Have you ever heard this before? That we will worship Krishna our own way. We want to worship. I will do it own way. So if you meet an Indian while distributing books, if we ask them, why don't you surrender to Krishna? I will surrender to Krishna if Krishna personally comes and tells me to surrender. If Krishna is your maid servant, Krishna is your security man or watchman to come and personally stand in front of you and beg you to surrender to him. No. If there is a sign, Prabhuji, then I will surrender. There's a big sign in saffron with a loud mouth asking you to surrender right now. At least surrender by buying the book. Oh, where does Krishna say I should surrender? Abandon all, where we say, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishami masasya. Surrender now. Oh, no. I don't need it. I need something. I will worship Krishna my own way. My own way. Nonsense. I'm a diabetes patient. Please, can you serve me? Yes, I will serve you my own way of giving you the sweetest sweet rice that I can ever make. It's you're serving me your own way, but your service is going to kill me. So we don't want this kind of sentimental speculation. And we don't want this kind of imaginative ecstasy. This is not so cheap, actually. You can pull up Brahma Samhita, but it's the third to last verse. Pramanai satsadacharayas tad abhyasi nirantaram bodhayan atmanatmanam bhaktim apyutamam labhet. Here, Lord Brahma says that the highest devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is attained in slow degrees. And what are the things? Yeah, you can go to second last verse or third last verse. Keep going. Brahma Samhita, hymns of the Absolute. Yes. Okay. Go down, please. Please go in. Actually, Yeah, this is. Okay, one more. There it is. Pramana is Satsat Acharya. This is very important in case we are imagining ourselves to be on a very high level of Krishna consciousness. We should remind ourselves. Pramana is Satsat Acharya. Tad Abhyasa Nirantaram. Bodhayan Atmanatmanam Bhaktim Apyutamam Labet. Translation. The highest devotion is attained by slow degrees, by method of constant endeavor. This is the point. This is the point. By method of constant endeavor for self-realization with the help of scriptural evidence, which means according to Shastra, theistic conduct means according to Guru and Sadhu, and perseverance in practice. Let's see if you put your money where your mouth is. We may be feeling great ecstasy in the kirtan at 12 at night, but your ecstasy is real if you come to Mangal Aarti the next day. That's the real ecstasy. We were so ecstatic last night, Prabhu, that we slept through Mangal Aarti. That is not a symptom of ecstasy, actually. It's not a symptom of advancement either. People should be enthusiastic to come to the morning program, actually. It's very important. And by doing so, we make spiritual advancement. No matter how late you slept, no matter what you have to adjust in your life, unless you're driving a very long way and you taking enough rest is important for your life to stay alive, then or you're practically bedridden and you're extremely sick, or anything like in some extreme situation like that, the morning program is an absolute must. Why? Because Prabhupada said there is no question of spiritual life if you don't rise before 4 a.m. They're very serious things, a very heavy thing. Okay, fine. For Grihasthas, Prabhupada gave a concession. He said 5 a.m., but no less, no more than that. So 4:59 the latest. But Mangalarti is very amazing. Kalachandji is here. He's waiting. He's waiting for you. Radha Kalachandji, they're both waiting for you. Gunata waiting for you. They're waiting to see you, actually. Because we are not coming to see Krishna. We're coming to be seen by Krishna. So it's very important to understand we're coming to present ourselves before the Lord. We want to present ourselves the activities that we've done for His pleasure. So we come to the temple, we come dressed as devotees. At least, if you're going to an interview, then if you go to an interview, how are you going to be dressed? Are you going to be dressed in what you're comfortable with, or are you going to be dressed in a way that the boss likes or the interviewer expects you to dress? How will you dress? Business clothes, looking pakka, So now you're coming to in front of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So you got to dress to impress, right? You're going to, my dear Lord, my Krishna, I'm dressing the way you want me to dress. I'm dressing in a way that pleases you. So, we come, we do like this. It's very, very important. We do it and Krishna is pleased to see. We can say that in the 10th canto, so in the Krishna book, Prabhupada says that Krishna was pleased to see Putana dressed as a devotee. Even dressing as a devotee pleases Krishna. In the 10th canto, Krishna says that. So we have to understand, we have to perform all these activities. And when we read Srila Prabhupada's books, we understand this point that Srila Prabhupada is teaching us pure devotional service. That's what he's teaching us. But unfortunately, what's being taught and what people are under the influence of in most places where they're trying to practice Krishna consciousness is not even karma mishra. It's not even karma mishra bhakti. It's bhakti mishra karma. It's karma mixed with a little bhakti. You do your job, you become very successful, you do all this and chant a little Hare Krishna. Chant a little Hare Krishna. But you do your job. But the main goal is to make yourself a material success. So from this perspective, Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, Sarvabhauma Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj are actually failures, actually. Even Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he before he got his degree, he dropped out. So if from that perspective, that association is not so good. It's not so good association. It's not such a good association. No. We should not learn Bhakti Mishra Karma. Should not even learn Karma Mishra Bhakti. Prabhupada taught us Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotional service. And this is what we should strive for. Never mind, we may not be at that level. That's okay. You can pull up Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, text number 31, last paragraph of the purport. Let's see what Srila Prabhupada says over here. 3:31, last part of the purport. This is very important. My dear friends, if you haven't paid attention the whole class, that's fine. But please pay attention to this. Okay, well, please go. Yeah, right there actually. In the beginning of Krishna consciousness, one may not fully discharge the injunctions of the Lord. But because one is not resentful of this principle and works sincerely without consideration of defeat and hopelessness, he will surely be promoted to the stage of pure Krishna consciousness. So, we're not sitting here saying, we are better than you fallen people. Or we're not saying that. But what we're saying is, this is the standard that Srila Prabhupada set. And if you're not at that standard, never mind. That's fine. Whatever your situation may be, however you may be, we are where we are, but we have to strive for the ultimate thing. And Srila Prabhupada says, because even if you're not able to fully discharge the injunctions of the Lord, but if you're not resentful of this principle and work sincerely, without consideration of defeat and hopelessness, you will surely be promoted to the stage of pure Krishna consciousness. So yes, all right, we may be struggling to stay awake while chanting our rounds in the morning. We may be struggling to come to Mangalarti. We may struggle to read Srila Prabhupada's books, but at least we must not be of this opinion that, it's all okay. You come to Mangalarti or you don't come to Mangalarti, it's all okay. Whether you read Srila Prabhupada's books, whether you don't read Srila Prabhupada's books, it's all okay. If Srila Prabhupada is saying book distribution is the most important part of our movement, and we say, it's not so important. Everything else is equally important. If getting butter from one place, that's also Sankirtan. Going and giving a plate of, or just giving some beggar some charity, that's also Sankirtan. Going and doing this and that service, that's also Sankirtan. But no, as far as we're concerned, Sankirtan is chanting on the streets or distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. That's what Sankirtan is. Not all these other things. So coming up with such a philosophy is being resentful of the principle that Prabhupada is laying out. What does Krishna say in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text number 3? What does Krishna say? Ashraddha dhana purusha dharmasyasya parantapa aprapya mam nivartante mrityu samsara vartmani. Krishna says over here, those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of the foe, conqueror of enemies. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. Important point to note. We should have faith in what Srila Prabhupada is saying. And when we have faith, we can see how much Srila Prabhupada gave his life. Srila Prabhupada would wake up at 12 o'clock at night and write his books while everyone is sleeping. How much Prabhupada has struggled to give us these books. And if we are not reading these books, we are committing the greatest offense we possibly can. If you're not relishing the nectar that's in Srila Prabhupada's books, if you're not contemplating on the instructions of Srila Prabhupada, if you're not distributing these books, I'm sorry to say, they may, here's another fanatic. So many of these have come and gone. What else do they say? Anyway, I think this is enough to say. So many of them have come and gone. But no, right here in front of our eyes, we can see the lotus face of Krishna, Mishra Bhagavan Prabhu. Till now, he's distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. Has he come and gone or has he stayed? So many of them have come and gone. Nonsense. Brigapati Prabhu, Shivram Maharaj, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, Dhanvir Maharaj, all these devotees, give them a chance and they're distributing books. Vaisheshika Prabhu, so many devotees are distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. Kamalini Mataji, Apurva Prabhu, all of them. Why? Because they were trained, my dear friends, they were inoculated with the mercy of Srila Prabhupada when they joined. They gave their youth to Srila Prabhupada. They gave their life to Srila Prabhupada. And they don't know anything else but that. They don't know anything else but that. Because there is no master more merciful than Srila Prabhupada. We have to understand this point. Prabhupada wanted everyone to sacrifice, and he sacrificed 10 times more than anyone in his movement. And that inspiration of sacrifice has pushed on his disciples all these years. So we must sacrifice our body, mind, spirit, everything. What's that purpose? This Krishna consciousness movement is an invitation for all young men and women to come and sacrifice their life for the propagation of Krishna consciousness. Anyway, that's the purpose. You can pull it up and see it. But in the 6th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada says, can you look it up maybe? In the folio, you can look it up. Invitation for young men and women. You can look that up and then we'll find the purport. Srila Prabhupada says that this Krishna consciousness movement is an invitation for all young men and women to come and sacrifice their life for the spreading the higher cause of Krishna consciousness. So never mind, oh, you're sacrificing your youth. I remember when I was first new, and the first month or so that I wore saffron, there was one person I knew. He was like, oh, he was so, me and him, I thought we had a really good relationship. He saw me wear saffron and he got so upset. He said, come with me. And he took me to a room where there's all these other people who are apparently practicing Krishna consciousness. And all of them together chastised me for wearing saffron. This devotee was saying, just see, this Prabhuji got a degree in computer science and he can be making hundreds of thousands of dollars working such a good job in such a good company, and he's wasting his life by becoming brahmachari and wanting to distribute books. And everyone was yelling at me, and what is wrong with you? And this was in Mayapur. I was saying, is this a nightmare? Like, what's going on? I'm thinking, I'm 19 years old. I think I'm definitely not doing anything wrong. And I just asked him, what would your guru say if you were telling me these things? Did you find this, Prabhupada? Okay, anyway, Prabhupada says this in the 6th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada says, in the section where the demigods are asking for Dadishi Muni's bones. And Dadishi Muni gave his bones for the manufacturing of a weapon to destroy Vritrasura. So, I mean, I still remember this like it was yesterday. They were all yelling at me for doing all this, for giving my life, and I think it must have been Lord Chaitanya in the heart, because I didn't flinch. I was just like fighting back with all of them the whole time. And thank God I was not influenced by these kind of opinions contrary to the principles of Krishna consciousness. The best decision I ever made in my life was to give it to Srila Prabhupada fully. It's been 11 years. Thank God. Krishna saved me at this horrible junction. And a devotee must always pray like this, especially when we come in front of the deities. We must always pray, my dear Lord, please bless me. Bless me that I don't fall down. There's a beautiful verse. Andasya me hrita viveka mahadhanasya chaurai prabho balibirindriya namadhyayaihi mohanda kupa kuhare vinipati tasya devesha dehi kripanasya karavalambham. That we go up to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and we pray, my dear Lord, Andasya me hrita viveka mahadhanasya chaurai prabho balibirindriya namadhyayaihi. I'm in a body, and his body has senses, and these senses have blinded me from my greatest wealth. And what is your greatest wealth, my friends? What is your greatest wealth? Your greatest wealth is your sense of discrimination. Andasya me hrita viveka mahadhanasya. Viveka, this sense of discrimination is your greatest wealth. Hrita viveka mahadhanasya. Choraif prabho balibirindriya namadhyayaihi. My senses have stolen my greatest wealth of discrimination, my dear Lord. Mohan the kupa kuhare vinipati tasya. I have fallen down into this darkest well of material existence. Therefore, Devesha dehi kripanasya karavalambham. My dear Lord Devesha, you're the Lord of all the demigods. Devesha dehi, please give me kripanasya, to this kripana, your merciful hands. Please stretch out your merciful hand. Devesha dehi kripanasya karavalambham. Please kindly reach out your hand and pull me out of this ocean of material existence. Tattvam prasida bhagavan kuru mayanate vishnu kripam paramakarunika kalutvam samsara sagarane magna mananta dinam udhartumarhasi hare purushottamose. My dear Lord, Tattvam prasida bhagavan kuru mayanate. My dear Lord, I'm an anatha. I'm hopeless. I'm stuck in this material world. Kuru mayanate. Vishnu kripam paramakarunika kalutvam. But I know that you are extremely, exceptionally, extraordinarily merciful. Vishnu kripam paramakarunika kalutvam. Samsara sagara nimagna mananta dinam. I am drowning in this ocean of material existence. Udhartum arhasi hare purushottama. Say, my dear Lord Purushottama, my dear Lord Kalachandji, please pull me out from this ocean of material existence. Please. And what are these instructions? How does the Supreme Lord pull you out? Tatrati dakshat ati vallabhasya vande guru shri charanaravindam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has sent His beloved Srila Prabhupada to give us these instructions. Tatrati dakshat. The spiritual master is very expert, and he's throwing you a rope from the spiritual world into the material world. Hold on to this rope. And what is this rope? This rope is two things. It's made of two things. This rope is made of the instructions of the spiritual master, and the other rope is this. He has thrown his rope. Hold on to it like your life depends on it, because it does, my dear friends. It does. Your life depends on this. This is your rope back home, back to Godhead. This is the rope that the spiritual master has thrown from the spiritual world. Hold on to it because your life depends upon it. Give your life to distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. This is our humble request. Please, can you pull up 10.237 of the Srimad Bhagavatam? This is the most monumental, exceptional, extraordinary purport of Srila Prabhupada. I've said this about a few of his purports, but this is definitely one that, hits home hard all the way down. Last paragraph. All the way down. There you go, right there. Though this word kriyashu, meaning manual labor or by work, is important in this verse. One should engage in practical service to the Lord. In our Krishna consciousness movement, all our activities are concentrated upon distributing Krishna literature. This is very important. One may approach any person and induce him to read Krishna literature, so that in the future, he may also become a devotee. Such activities are recommended in this verse. Kriyasu yachat charanaravindayoho. Such activities will remind the devotees of the Lord's lotus feet. By fully concentrating on distributing books for Krishna, one is fully absorbed in Krishna. This is samadhi. Tamakrisha Maharaj, I remember listening to his lecture, he said, there's such beautiful deity worship going on. Why? So that book distributors can be inspired to go out and give the gifts of Krishna consciousness to the entire world. That's the whole point. We have this human form of life. If our body is healthy, please dedicate your life to the Sankirtan mission of Lord Chaitanya. It is so rare. It is so amazing. And you can perform the highest welfare activity. Never mind. Krishna, Mr. Bhagavan Prabhu, how old is your transcendental body? This one, how old is your body? 67. Srila Prabhupada's disciple, 67 years old. I was receiving books with him in the hot sun yesterday. In the hot sun. Texas heat. The real field was 104 or whatever. In the hot sun we're going, and we didn't go to an Indian store. We went to the local Hermano grocery store or local Hermano Walmart or whatever. And we went and we were distributing books. And I'm seeing, I felt so fortunate. I'm pushing Prabhu's cart while he's distributing books. And he's going, and he said, hola, el volantero, or whatever. I don't know how to say I'm a volunteer in Spanish, but I know he was saying, I'm a volunteer. And we do and he's helping them load their groceries. And then when they're done loading the groceries, he keeps a book in their hand, gives them some flowers, tells them, okay, my Spanish is really bad, but he tells them whatever he tells them in Spanish, and then they give him a donation and they buy Srila Prabhupada's books. What need is there for him to do it? What need is there? Does he really have to do it? Does he have to do it? At this age, no. We must take a vow to die on the battlefield with our boots on. That's what we should do. Die with your boots on. That's what you need to do. Die with your boots on. Please, don't be happy in a big house, lots of money, color TV, and Jai Jagadish Hari. That's not what our life is for. You didn't join the Krishna consciousness movement to watch the kids play soccer during the Sunday feast. We didn't come to the temple to talk about how fast our Tesla car charges. We've come to the temple to hear the pure message of Krishna consciousness and become missionaries. We must meditate. How can I reduce my mundane material activities, and how can I increase my Krishna conscious activities? That's what we must do. Kalachandji is very pleased when you give them a garland, but what if you gave them a garland of Srimad Bhagavatam set book scores? What about that? What if you gave this Mukunda Mala? What if you gave them this beautiful Mukunda Mala? You gave them this. My dear Lord, here's a garland. what Bahu Koti Chandrajini Vadanojvala. I'm trying not to sing the evening tune in the morning. But we can see, was that Ratna Simhasane? That Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is sitting on a beautiful throne, Ratna Simhasana, made of beautiful jewels. He's sitting on a beautiful throne made of jewels, and he's being decorated by the devotees, and they're giving him garlands. What if you gave Lord Chaitanya a garland of bookstores? What if if you made a goal that, hey, look, I'm going to distribute so many books in my life. I want to distribute so many books every day. I want to distribute so many books every week. And you gave that as an offering to the Supreme Lord. How pleased would he be? He likes your sweet rice offering. I can attest to it. The prasadam here is exceptionally amazing, no doubt. But you can do more. You can do more. Please understand. We're a movement we're a missionary movement. We're a missionary movement. So many people are out there dying for Krishna's mercy. Please give it to them. Please give it to them. I'd like to end my class by reading this one quote of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. If I sent it to you, could you post it up there, Prabhu? How does this work exactly? I could. Okay, so this is something which will make everyone very happy. So please kindly pay attention. So this is from the Bhakti Siddhanta Vaibhava. Okay. So I'm going to read this out. I think it'll be greatly relished by all these devotees here. Okay. All right. So I'm going to copy paste this and send this to you. There's a small excerpt from this amazing book, Bhakti Siddhanta Vaibhava. Okay. Sounds good. Having technical difficulties, although my body is from South India, the IT karma didn't come along. Let's see. Oh my God. Rishi, can you help me with this? Can you just copy this last two paragraphs and send it to? So we see this over here. This is the most intimate interaction between Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and our own Srila Prabhupada. And by reading this and by meditating upon it, it can give you inspiration for millions of births, millions of lives to do this. This is the topmost thing. Were you able to do it? Okay. So I guess I'll just read it out. I've done it before. Let me see. Okay. I'll just read it out. Oh, okay. So, Sripad, sorry, I lost it. Okay. So this is a section where Bhakti Vikas Maharaj is reading, is speaking about all the disciples of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And this is the following anecdote. I'm going to try to send it to you one more time. Okay. Because devotees will be able to relish it more if they're able to see it. Okay. I'll just read it out loud, okay? So please pay attention. Sripad Nayana Nanda Brahmachari, formerly Satprasanga Nanda Brahmachari, related the following. The last year that our Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, organized and performed Navadvip Dham Parikrama, thousands of pilgrims assembled at our Chanapahati temple. There was an entire village tents stretching in all directions. One On the afternoon of the last day, one of our god brothers had arrived in Navadvip, recently from London by ship. He had gone there to preach but had returned without meeting full success. That evening, during his lecture, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati explained his earnest desire that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings be spread in the Western countries. He said that this was the last request of his mother, Srimati Bhagavati Devi, to him before she left this world. And that indeed it would happen. Consequently, he had been willing to take the lifeblood of the Gaudiya Math funds to send devotees there, yet their attempts had been largely unsuccessful. You know what? I had an idea. What if I took a screenshot and sent it to you? You can put it up. Okay. So, what's the email, Prabhuji? What's it? Okay. It's worth the wait. It's worth the wait. All one word. KrishnaHouseDallas@gmail.com. Okay. Sent it. Should receive it now. No? Okay. There you go. Okay. So at this point, in this point in his talk, I noticed that something mysterious had been happening. Guru Maharaj had been looking out at the packed crowd of devotees, especially in front, where all the sannyasis and brahmacharis in red cloth were. Then he turned his head and looked over to his left side, where I was standing, and he was looking intently at someone and became silent for some time. I happened to look behind me, and I saw that the person with whom he was making eye contact was Abhay Charanaravinda Prabhu. I felt they were looking at each other in a special way. Then Guru Maharaj turned again and addressed the audience in front of him and said, "But I have a prediction. However long in the future it may be, one of my disciples will cross the ocean and bring back the world." And this person is our Srila Prabhupada. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, at this moment, there was a pregnant stare between Srila Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And Srila Prabhupada, and we can say that the Prabhupada was that person who actually went, crossed over the ocean and brought back the entire world to Krishna consciousness. So now it's up to us. We have to take this movement forward. So this is my humble request that we all dedicate our life to reading and distributing and applying the principles of what's in Srila Prabhupada's books. And by doing so, we will attain all perfection. So I'll end the class over here. If there's any questions or comments, we can take them now. Yes, bro. We can take this one, right? You can just take this one, it saves time. Here you go, here you go.
Thank you, Prabhu. Such a wonderful class. It reminds me Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj class, and I see your face and a spirit also kind of same like. I really appreciate you say about the missionary spirit. Actually, this movement started with that spirit, and that's why it was blooming, flourishing, the time. but look like we lost it. Some or
Not
other.
completely.
So, how do you think, because most now Dallas Temple, Houston Temple, those are more householders around try to maintain the temple. So for them, I think they're happy with it.
Yeah.
So person like you, they're not really happy with it, because I see, because your spirit different. Like Tamal Krishna Maharaj, when I was traveling with the Sankirtan bus, going every temple, taking out all the brahmacharis with his bus.
Hey, we're not taking decision now.
No, so, but that was his spirit. So every Prabhupada liked that. So, my point is, so everyone thinking that their position, their service, they're happy. That's okay, they're rendering service. But same time, it's conflict there that, it's not like you say, they have to have Mangalarati, Prabhupada says, but time, situation now change. So how do you really adjust and bring the really harmonize together and bring the missionary spirit in our movement?
Yeah, the main thing,
especially West.
Yeah. The main thing is that these things need to be spoken about. They need to be spoken about, right? These things need to be said. These things need to be said. That's the first point.
Yeah, that's right.
Firstly, speak about it, right? You have to speak about it. And then, and the more you speak about it, there will be a certain section of people who are sincere. There's people who they don't know better, therefore they're doing it. But, I'm saying, okay, I'm definitely an insincere person. But when I first came to one of the temples in New York, there was no question of rising before 4 a.m. or something. It was just whenever you want kind of thing. But then when I was told that actually this is what Prabhupada wanted, I was like, oh wow, okay, I didn't know that, let's do it. And then it worked out ever since then. The first and most important thing is people should even know that Srila Prabhupada said these things. How many people knew that Srila Prabhupada said there's no question of spiritual life if you don't rise before 4 a.m.? How many devotees heard that before? I mean, you, of course, you did. And we're all, but yeah, so many devotees don't even know. And then you may wonder, what is people's conception of Srila Prabhupada? What's people's conception of the Krishna consciousness movement? What's the conception? Is the conception, what is it? That he's like a nice old Bengali man who smiles at everyone or something? Like have you read Prabhupada's books? Have you heard Prabhupada's lectures? He's anything but a stereotypical Bengali person. He's an acharya. He's the most amazing acharya, such a great personality. So people should be taught dharma sthapana hetu sadhura vyavahara. Right? You understand what this already means? That dharma is established by the behavior of the sadhus. Tarko pratishta shutayor vibhinnam nasa vrishi ryasya matham na bhinnam dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhaya mahajano yena gatassa pantaha. So many people may have so many opinions. Tarko pratishta shutayor vibhinnam. You may have so many opinions. Nasa vrishi ryasya matham na bhinnam. You won't even be considered like a great guy or a great preacher if you don't have your own ideas. But dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhaya. A person, how do you understand dharma? It's hidden within the heart of a great Mahaja. Mahajano yena gatassa pantaha. So it's understood by the behavior of the sadhus. It starts from the top. Everyone should be pushed. Everyone should be. It's a health. Dahitava pache pache. You can say, Vaisheshika Prabhu was telling us that when Srila Prabhupada was on the planet, Prabhupada would ask him to do something, and then they would do it, and then he would again say something like, double it. Like, what? How can we double it? We gave it all we got, and we achieved what you asked us to achieve, and now you're saying double it? How is this possible? But then, you know what? They tried it, and it was possible. Because Amitu Kangal, Krishna Krishna Boli, Dai Tava Pache Pache. You are running behind the Guru. And the more you come, the more the Guru is going to keep taking you more and more and more to the platform of pure Krishna consciousness. So it's very important. I'm sorry to say this may not be popular. I may not be a popular speaker for telling people, oh yeah, one thing, if devotees were to change this, and I've seen this in almost every devotee house that I've gone, almost every devotee house, that devotees have this habit of eating foodstuffs cooked by non-devotees. What does Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say? Vishayran na khale malun habe man, malun na khale nahi Krishna smaran. Yes, he always say Bengali is so you can learn all these so many verses. What did he say? If you eat grains cooked by non-devotees, your mind becomes contaminated like stool and you cannot remember Krishna. Malun anna khale nahi Krishna smaran. So that then, but I've gone to so many devotees' house. They buy loaves of bread from outside. They buy chapatis from Patel brothers. They buy this from there and that from there. All grains cooked by non-devotees. So if you're eating that, then you won't be able to remember Krishna. If devotees were to not do these simple things, how many devotees even knew this verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita? How many devotees have read Srila Prabhupada's books? How many devotees have read Prabhupada's books? What is your conception of Krishna consciousness, my friends? Is it based on what's in Prabhupada's purpose? Or is it based on what was that sentimental speculation or imaginary ecstasy